The farmer's market is only 3 weeks away. So we've been prepping. We've been setting up like a fake stand in the basement, like just laying everything out, how we're going to have it displayed. And we have starter plants growing to sell at the market, as well as all of our other plants to put in our garden this spring. I'll show you what they look like. Okay, so at the end of March, we planted a whole bunch of seeds to sell at the farmer's market as starter plants. So all of these are Roma tomatoes. And then we have a bunch of, those are also Romas. Those are also Romas. Oh, wow. Whole tray of jalapenos, which those have not sprouted up yet. We'll have another tray of jalapenos, and these are the hot pepper poinsettias over here that have not come up yet. Then we have a couple sections of burpees, regular sized tomatoes here and here, which they're coming up. There's a little bit coming up, but definitely the Romas are what have really taken off in just the last week. And then for our personal garden, these are all cucumbers. So I basically started our own starter plants at the very beginning of February, and the cucumbers did not come up at that point. So I replanted a bunch at the end of March, and they're actually growing now. So I don't know what the difference was between, planting them at the beginning of February. I mean, because it's indoors. Maybe the sun was different. I don't know. But those are coming up really nice this time. And I had planted a whole bunch of loofah seeds also at the beginning of February. We only got like 2 to come up. So I replanted them again, I think at the end of March also. Might have been the middle of March. But look how awesome. There are so many of them. Like, I'm not sure what the difference is between planting them indoors like a month apart, but this time they took, and so did the cucumber. And then I also planted some more jalapeno at the end of March because we didn't have very many that survived that February planting. Look at this Swiss chard. It's so cool. This is the only one that took for the Swiss chard, so we'll have to plant some more of those too. All of the rest of these are what we planted at the very beginning of February. So we have tons of tomato in different varieties, and let me think what else. We have some squashes. Oh, we have lots of okra. They are doing really, really well. Sweet peppers. The poinsettia hot peppers took really good. These are really, really doing great. Look at this one. This is a cherry tomato. That guy is huge. He's standing up perfect. We can't wait to put these in our garden. Here's the zucchini. Look, they're already flowering. For May's Farmer's Market, we're probably really just going to have our starter plants for sale, as well as a whole bunch of microgreens. I'm also going to sell wheatgrass by the tray and microgreen growing starter kits. And that's really all that I'm going to have until the garden actually starts producing anything. Here's my setup for the tent and the table. So this is a 10 by 10 tent, which is the size that you need to have at the farmer's market. I don't have it raised all the way because the ceiling is in the way. So you don't get the full effect, but so basically it's a 10 by 10 tent, but from this leg to that leg, it's only 8 feet. So I'm kind of confused about why it's called a 10 by 10 tent when it's only actually 8 feet like across. But anyway, so I have 6-foot collapsible tables, and so I have one going this way and then one going back that way. But you don't actually have access to the sides from the pictures that I've seen because I think the tents are right next to each other. So this extra table right here just really gives us, you know, about 2 extra feet along the front. And then Justin is working on building like a shelf that will go all the way along back here, just so we can have some different levels. And we're also working on display boxes that'll go in front of the shelves that'll hold like the microgreens initially. These are my microgreen growing starter kits. So basically they're going to get 2 10 by 10 trays, 2 packets of seeds that are the same, and then PDF growing directions that list like day by day what steps they need to take. And then they can also purchase just extra seeds with the PDF growing directions if they don't need more of the trays. So one tray is really going to be for growing, and the other one will be to stack on top of the growing tray to block out all the light. So they'll get 2 trays worth of seeds. So this is the very first page on the PDF for my micro peas. So all of my growing instructions say how to grow, and then the picture changes and the words change here. So I have the supplies needed, and then it goes into optional supplies, and then it goes into planting day, which is day number 1. Then the next pages have all of the subsequent days. And then I created price signs on Microsoft Word. I have our logo as the watermark, and then I just put, so I basically just use the same template for all of my price signs, so that they all look the same, and I just changed the words on them. I'm going to print these out and laminate them, and that way I can use them for all the markets. We are super excited for the first farmers market. It's going to be a learning experience for sure, because this is our first time doing anything like this. So we're just going to keep track of, I made a spreadsheet in Excel. So I'm just keeping track of how many of each plant we have, and that way, like if we had way too many tomatoes, we can cut back on plants, or if we didn't have enough of something, we can do more starter plants for whatever it is that sold really good. And then we're also going to be taking inventory every market to see how many things, how many of each thing that we took and how much we came home with. And that way we can kind of see, you know, like, oh, cucumbers didn't sell very well, we won't plant as many next year. We might not plant any for next year, we'll just plant enough for us to eat. You know, carrots did really well, let's plant a whole bunch more of those next year, or just so we can keep track for our own records, and that way next year for the market we will have a better feel for what sells really well